Donna, it's been amazing to work with you. I've appreciated all your help with field day. The things that you do and your creativity is absolutely amazing. You've been a great teacher and a good friend. Congratulations, good luck, and enjoy retirement.
It's been great getting to know you this year. Thanks for all your advice and help, and I wish you luck in the future.
There's nothing more that I could say other than thank you, because you have done so much for me over the years, and I appreciate you more than you know. I am so sad that you are leaving, and I will miss you so much. So you have to come back and be my sub sometimes, or be somebody else's sub so that I can see you, and we'll go to lunch and all that stuff too. But I will miss you, and I hope you enjoy retirement.
All right, so I have a series of questions that were asked of me, so that I will be answering the questions that Mr. Boger gave to me to answer for my retirement. And the first one was, describe your very first day of teaching. Well, it's been so long ago, I do not remember my first day of teaching, but I remember a lot of things up until that point. So first of all, when I graduated from college, University of Texas at Arlington, jobs were kind of scarce back then for physical education teachers. And right after I graduated, we moved back to Michigan. So I first started teaching driver's ed when I was in Texas, and we left and came up here. And then from then on, I did substitute teaching for a few years. I was a reading aide at Berrien Springs Middle School for 5 years. I was a drug education consultant at the Berrien County Health Department, where I went into the schools and did second grade programs. And then I got my very first teaching job at Dowagiac Union High School, and that is where I graduated from. And I was a physical education teacher, high school, middle school, and an 8th grade English teacher. And I was pink slipped after my very first year. So that brought me to Brandywine, and I was hired in here as a health teacher for middle school. Since then, at Brandywine, I have taught many things. I have that certification where you have 7th and 8th grade all subjects. So every few years I was changing subjects, and so I've always felt like I was always learning as my students were learning. I've taught reading, and as I said earlier, health, middle school, physical science, biological science, geography, and then finally, when Mr. Bailey retired about 14 years ago, I was able to come back to my first love, which is physical education. And I remember calling Karen. She was the interim superintendent then. I remember calling her and saying, "Do you think I'm too old at 46 to be the PE teacher?" And she said, "No, Donna, you'd be great at it." So I was kind of questioning that, but I'm so glad that I made that move, and I've enjoyed it ever since I've had it. The second question was, what were the challenges 30 years ago compared to today? Some of the things are just always there, like behavior management. You always have struggles with that and always want to do your best in dealing with behavior. That's never changed. I feel like there is more disrespect these days than there were earlier in the years. Always balancing home, school, family. That's always been hard or challenging through the years. But overall, I think it's basically the same. It says, list 5 things you will remember, events, activities, or funny stuff. Well, I remember all of the great Christmas parties that we've had at Merritt and at Brandywine Elementary. I will remember the teacher skit that we did a few years back for the talent show at Brandywine Elementary. I was the chicken plucker, and here was my chicken that I started off with, and it goes like this. If I were not a teacher, something else I'd rather be. If I were not a teacher, a chicken plucker I'd be. And as you passed me by, you would hear me cry, pluck those chickens, pluck them till they're clean. Bawk! And then it went from this chicken to the very last one, our plucked chicken. and I threw it out in the audience. And it was really fun because a lot of the other teachers joined us, and we had a rapper and a rock star, and the rock star sang "School's Out for Summer," and "School's Out Forever," and every year I sing that song, and this year I finally get to say "School's out for summer, school's out forever," and now I can mean it. So that's a big thing. And I remember field days, a lot of work but a lot of fun, which we just had. And the best thing that I remember is when you'll hear a little kid tell you, "Mrs. Lee, you're the best gym teacher ever." It just makes you smile inside and your heart glow. And also when they'll say, "Mrs. Lee, I'm so hot and sweaty." And I'll say, "Great, that means you're working really hard." And didn't give them any slack at all. Number 4 says list 5 things you are going to forget on purpose. And I said anything related to COVID-19 and school, such as wearing masks, disinfecting equipment. I think I've disinfected thousands and thousands of pieces of equipment. Virtual teaching. I will forget the disrespectful students, and the times that I have failed, like the time I grabbed his arm and he said, "Don't touch me," and wondering if I was going to get fired for it. Okay, then number 5 things you will miss and 5 things you will not miss. 5 things I will miss. I'll miss creating great activities for the students to do that teach them about being physically healthy. I'll miss the staff, of course, because being a specials teacher now, you don't fit in exactly the same as other teachers do, being at 2 buildings and things, but nonetheless, it's like your extended family. You're always glad to see them. It's like your cousins and second cousins, and even if you don't get to speak with people that much, they are part of your life. And of course, I'll miss the students. I'll miss Mr. Boger's food, his awesome soup and burritos and things that he's made us through the years. I will miss having a job where being active is part of my job, and it's meaningful, and that a place where I can make a difference. And I will miss seeing students get down when I play music while they're exercising in PE. Things like their moves to the Gangman style and things like that. It's funny. And I've thought before that, man, you can get kids to do anything if you play the right kind of music. Some things that I will not forget, or I want to forget: never getting enough sleep, bringing work home with me all the time, school politics, the small percentage of unmotivated students in PE class, professional development that does not apply to the specials teachers, and having to make sub-plans when you're absent. One of the big reasons why I never was absent is because it's too much work to make sub-plans. So you might as well be here. Some things that I have planned for the next 6 months. Well, next week I'm having shoulder surgery, which I am not looking forward to. In August, I am planning a retirement trip and a birthday party for my sister to Kauai, in the Hawaiian Islands. I will be looking for a part-time job at least, because I do want to still work. I will be looking for a great physical fitness program to participate in, either at a Y or an athletic club or something. And I'll be looking forward to getting more sleep. And the last question says a poem. Well, I didn't come up with much, but here it goes. Early to bed, sleep in late. Collect your pension, ain't that great?
That's awesome.